Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bachelor in Paradise, Jeremy breaks silence on Bailey drama. After being a fan favorite on Jen Tran's Bachelorette season, Jeremy Simon's villain turn on Bachelor in Paradise was a shock to fans. Some viewers even called for Jeremy to be kicked off the show for his behavior, especially toward Bailey Brown. Jeremy's lies blew up in the latest episode after Brian Otts informed Bailey of what had been going on. Jeremy Simon finally addressed the drama in a social media post. What did he have to say for himself? Jeremy Simon and Bailey Brown connected early in the Bachelor in Paradise season, but Jeremy accepted a date with Susie Evans when asked. Bailey wasn't necessarily happy about it, but didn't make a huge issue out of it. However, when she accepted a date with Andrew Spencer, Jeremy went off the rails. He harassed the production team into letting him call Susie Evans and ask her to come back. Susie quit the show after turning down a rose from her ex-boyfriend, Justin Glaze. Jeremy had already given his rose to Bailey in that rose ceremony, a move he later said he regretted. After her date with Andrew, Bailey resumed exploring things with Jeremy, oblivious to his phone call with Susie. Some of the other contestants knew about the call but didn't tell Bailey in. Brian Otts finally broke the veil of secrecy and told her in the last episode. Jeremy managed to smooth things over with Bailey. Now it seems he wants to smooth things over with viewers. Jeremy Simon took to Instagram to address the drama in the latest Bachelor in Paradise episode. Watching the past few weeks back has been tough, he began. Those sentiments echo what Bailey Brown said on Nick Viall's podcast. Jeremy's post continued. A lot of what's aired doesn't show the full story, the small, meaningful moments, or important conversations that brought Bailey and I closer. Our relationship grew so much beyond the 0.1% of what's shown on TV, but unfortunately, so much of the focus has been on a small part of what we actually experienced in Paradise. He went on to say that his time on Bachelor in Paradise wasn't perfect, but he owns his mistakes. At the end of the day, only Bailey and I know the reality of what we went through, and I hope people can respect that, Jeremy wrote. Bachelor Nation fans definitely can't respect that. His apology or whatever it was did not go over well with his followers. They took to the comments to troll him hard. It's the "I'll own my mistakes" when you literally didn't until Brian made you, and then you got mad at him. Alexa, play Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter. May a love like this never find me. You couldn't even be bothered to get out of the bed. But you weren't honest with her. You said to Bailey that you never said that you'd propose to Susie on the spot, but there is literally footage of you saying that. Bailey ruined WTF. Jeremy Simon and Bailey Brown are among the couples still left on Bachelor in Paradise. Tune in Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern to see if they last to the end and take home the $500,000 over the endless horizon, casting a warm orange glow across the waves as Jeremy sat alone on the sandy beach. For weeks, the cameras captured every smile, every tear, every stolen glance on Bachelor in Paradise. But now, in the quiet aftermath, Jeremy was finally ready to speak, to break the silence that had wrapped around his name like a shadow. The air was thick with the scent of salt and memories as Jeremy pulled his hoodie tighter, a barrier between himself and the curious world waiting for answers. He had become a household name almost overnight, the charming, easygoing guy with a winning smile and a heart that seemed just a little too big for the game. But what nobody knew was the story beneath the surface, the moments unseen between the rose ceremonies and dramatic twists. For Jeremy, Bachelor in Paradise had been a whirlwind of emotions, a carnival ride of hope and heartbreak. But in the end, it wasn't just about the roses or the flirtations. It was about finding a piece of himself he thought he'd lost. He exhaled slowly, the weight of expectation pressing down on him. The public wanted to know, what really happened? Who did he truly love? Was it all just a game? Jeremy cleared his throat, the words stirring inside like waves waiting to crash ashore. "I guess I should start with the beginning," he said softly. Before Paradise, Jeremy was just a guy from a small town, working a 9 to 5 and dreaming of something bigger. He had never imagined he'd end up on national television, his every move dissected and debated. But when the opportunity came, he took it, not for fame, but for the chance to find love. "The show, it's like no other experience," Jeremy admitted. "You walk in knowing that everyone's got their guard up. Everyone's competing for the same thing, but underneath it all, we're all just people searching for connection." He smiled wistfully. "I met some incredible people there, people who challenged me, made me laugh, and yes, people who broke my heart." When asked about the drama, the infamous moments that had sparked endless headlines, Jeremy was candid. "Sure, there were tough moments. Moments where I questioned myself, my choices, even my own heart. But I've learned that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the bravest thing you can do." He paused, eyes reflecting the last rays of the sun. "There was one person who stood out, someone who made me feel seen. But love isn't always simple, especially in a place like that. Sometimes you have to let go before you can truly hold on." Jeremy's voice dropped to a whisper, as if sharing a secret with the crashing waves. "I wish I could say it was a fairy tale, that we walked off the beach hand in hand forever, but real life isn't always like that." He looked out at the vast ocean, the same one that had witnessed his laughter and tears. "What I learned is this: love is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes it hurts, but it's also the most beautiful thing in the world." The cameras may have stopped rolling, but Jeremy's journey was far from over. With a newfound clarity, he spoke of his hopes for the future, a future where he could be true to himself, whether or not the cameras were watching. "I'm ready to move forward, not with regrets, but with gratitude. Grateful for the experience, the lessons, and the people who touched my life." As the sky darkened and the stars began to twinkle, Jeremy's voice grew stronger. "To anyone watching who feels lost or unsure, don't give up on love. It's out there, sometimes in the most unexpected places. And sometimes it starts with being honest with yourself." With a final glance back at the shoreline, Jeremy stood up, brushing the sand from his jeans. He was stepping into a new chapter, one where the silence was broken by truth, hope, and the promise of what's yet to come.